In Washington for what all of this means shortly here on BBC News.
Now, they may have left it late, but this afternoon England finally produced a performance to take them into the knockout stage of the World Cup. Capello's men beat Slovenia 1-0 in a match they really had to win.
But of course they didn't do enough to top their group, which could mean a match against Germany on Sunday. Well, Ben Brown watched the match in Port Elizabeth, and a short time ago he told us about the enormous relief amongst England fans in South Africa.
It was just one goal, but what a crucial goal from Jermaine Defoe in the first half. Captain Steven Gerrard had said that this had to be a do-or-die performance by England, and that defeat today would have been an absolute disaster, being knocked out in the group stage for the first time. That would have been since 1958, almost unthinkable. Well, it didn't happen. England are through to the last 16. Huge relief for all the England fans who are at the ground, at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium there behind me for the game this evening. Many of them are out drinking here in Port Elizabeth, celebrating that victory. James Pearce reports now on the game.
A day when everybody had to do their bit to help. England's fans as vocal as ever. Inside the stadium, all was ready. What a day for the players who had to fill these shirts. As they arrived, they knew there would be no second chances. There could be no excuses. The supporters demanded victory. The 11 men of England simply had to deliver. And they began with purpose, the determination of a team with a point to prove. And here was their early reward. Milner's cross. Defoe's finish. He must have been pleased. Milner and Defoe had been his two major changes. The match should have been over by half-time. Frank Lampard spurned one chance. And then minutes later, how did this not end up as a goal? Steven Gerrard doesn't normally miss from there. So on to the second half. A one-goal margin signalled tension. Wayne Rooney should have eased it. The danger was that Slovenia would make England pay for their wastefulness, and they so nearly did. England fans know just how they were feeling. Fabio Capello was unimpressed. His players, though, had dominated the game. And a final whistle at last gave the nation a chance to breathe a collective sigh of relief. We haven't seen many England players smiling since they arrived in South Africa. That's all changed. Their World Cup campaign is right back on track.
This team, this spirit, play together, fight together, and I am really, really happy because I refound the team that I know.
The supporters' South African adventure can continue.
The fans are happy, and so they should be. At last their team has given them a performance of which they can be proud. Forget for now talk about Fabio Capello being sacked. All they want to discuss is the prospect of their team winning the World Cup.
Well, it wasn't an enormous crowd that watched England in the stadium behind me. It was about 36,000, the attendance, but the vast majority of those were England fans. We were in there, and lots and lots of England flags draped everywhere. And as James Pearce was saying there, really the fans delighted, not just by the victory, but the manner of the England performance, as I found out when I caught up with a few of them just after the game.
It was a much better performance. They lost the fear. It was great to see them play positively, and the results says it all. It's amazing.
Remember Italia 90? We started off very slow, and at this stage we beat Egypt 1-0, and England went on. Let's do better in Italia 90!
Would you like to have seen more goals, only the one goal?
Yeah, Gerrard first half definitely should have slotted it, and Rooney second half should have been 3-0, but we'll settle for 1-0 Germany in the second round.
And it could be Germany in the next round. Are you worried about that?
I would love to play the Germans in the second round. Let's get some revenge for all those previous performances against it. Come on, England!
And do you think Fabio Capello was vindicated? There was quite a lot of criticism of him before the game.
He's done well all the way through qualification. I'm pleased as a manager. I want to stay on next time. Excellent.
Well, lots of fans here now, England fans, changing their travel plans, making plans to go to Bloemfontein for the next match in the last 16. And fans who had been contemplating the absolute disaster of being knocked out of this World Cup in the group stage, they're now daring to dream again about going all the way to the final and maybe even winning the World Cup.
Ben Brown. Now, our main headlines this evening. President Obama has sacked his top general in Afghanistan.